Welcome to the Threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us are still trying to sleep off our Thanksgiving dinner. If this is your first time, finding us, we're so glad you're here and welcome. If you're back for more of this, we thank you, and you are the real MVP. So, yeah. Apologies for last week, because clearly we were having some technical difficulties, and Magic stepped up and filled the void.
Hello, yeah, thank you.
Which, no problem. Let's stop pretending. I mean, that's who y'all come to hear anyway.
Right. Anyway,
nobody listens to men.
Good, Rob, on this week.
So, before we get too far down that road, our point person and optimistic realist is the woman we call Star.
Dashing through the snow
in a one-horse open sleigh.
Damn.
Wow. And our man in the middle, our voice of reason, is the man you're here for. His name is Magic.
Can you imagine Doobie in your funk?
Yeah, once again, I am not high enough for this. And bringing up the rear, as always, I, of course, identify as the pragmatic contrarian of this group, and I am known as Storm.
Oh, the triumvirate is back, people. Strap in. Pause.
Church announcements?
T.I.'s son is an idiot?
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Puff Daddy been crazy?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, people have been saying that for years. I don't know why now, all of a sudden, it's news.
Did y'all see the little snippet of 50 talking about talking about Puffy when they first met or something?
Yeah, he was trying to take him out shopping.
He was telling him, like, did this nigga just say he's gonna take me shopping? The look on his face is priceless.
Oh,
like the disgust.
I didn't see it, but I'm gonna have to look that up because that's probably hilarious.
Oh, man, it is priceless. The look on 50's face, he just like he wanted to throw up. Like, this nigga just say you gonna take me shopping? Like,
yeah,
priceless.
Okay.
Comedy. No other church announcements, I don't think, other than it's snowing here.
It is indeed until tomorrow, because then everything's gonna melt. But whatever. Our temperature doesn't stay in one place. So, how was your Thanksgiving, Magic?
It's cool. It's nice to be around a bunch of Jersey people without having to go to New Jersey.
Okay. What'd you cook? Did you cook?
I went south with black people. What the fuck would I cook for?
Well, I mean, okay, sure.
Could have made the deviled eggs or something. Damn, right?
Made the road trip.
Right. You could have brought the peach cobbler. Like, I don't know.
Eat peach cobbler.
I don't know what you do. So, Star, what'd you do? What was your holiday like? Last I spoke to you, you were suspicious that your child was trying to poison you.
Oh, no, I was joking.
I know.
I really was.
I know you were joking.
You were.
No, she did a really good job. She made ham. she made the ham. She did sweet potato pie, deviled eggs, green beans, yams, and macaroni and cheese. And macaroni and cheese out of all of them is probably, one of the more difficult things. Is how we are about our macaroni and cheese,
Right.
and it's like
Okay.
Hey, there's some
Okay, well, good for
there's some
her.
hope for the youth.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
She did a really good job. I was proud of her.
okay.
She seemed to be very proud of herself. So
Okay, well, good for her.
she did it.
So,
And she knocked it out early too. She had dinner ready like before 3:30 or so. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. She made dressing too.
all right.
Okay. Cool.
Did you leave the house
So
store?
no. Because you know what they did to me? They put football on Friday
They
too.
do to you.
So they put football on Friday too. So
She
I
was in the house all weekend.
yeah, I was watching football all weekend. Saturday, I didn't go anywhere because I didn't really need to. Like I did a lot of any shopping I did online because I just didn't feel like the drama. And yeah, I watched football all weekend, so it was a good weekend for me. I mean, the Lions lost, and I was, upset
What did
about
that have to do with
'cause
Thursday?
Even though that was Thursday.
That counted as a weekend?
Yep.
Well, I was getting to the weekend. I was going to say
My point was you
Lions
skipped
lost,
Thanksgiving.
and I was bummed. No, the Lions played
Lions
on
lost
Thanksgiving.
too.
So Thanksgiving you stayed in the house and watched football.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's why she spends most of her Thanksgivings. She don't be
Right.
playing about that football stuff.
Yeah, normally if I go somewhere,
She
it's
got a coach.
normally if I go somewhere, it's early, like before the games start. But this year I was late with my cooking. Normally I have all my stuff cooked like the night before because I can't be bothered to do it on Thursday. Except for like maybe I'll throw the ham in the oven in the morning, but everything else will be done. But I was late, so I didn't go anywhere Thursday morning, and I watched football. So,
Okay.
and then Friday I watched football. I slept in till like noon on Friday, and then I watched football at, I don't know what time that game come on, like 3 or something. And then Saturday I watched college football, and then Sunday I watched football. But yeah, the Lions lost and the Cowboys won, so I was bummed on both of those fronts. And no, the Lions are not my team, but I am rooting for them because I'm ready for them to win something.
Okay.
But then the Steelers won on Sunday, so all is right with the world again. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so that was my weekend.
All right.
Then I had to get up and go to work this morning, and all hell broke loose.
Ooh. Jobs. Ooh.
Exactly.
Payday. Yay.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I got paid on Wednesday, so, why am I working today? So I can get paid next week, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so y'all saw the T.I. video where he tried to choke out, well, he was forced to have to nearly choke out his son King.
Oh.
I didn't really see it. I saw a snippet. Like, looking at him irritates me, so usually if something shows up with him on it, I bypass it. I don't really care.
Him T.I. or him King?
Him King. I love T.I. Well, except for his hairdo right now. But anyway, what the hell's wrong with his hair? But Um, I love to hear him
Midlife
talk. I can listen to him
crisis.
talk all day.
Oh, he got that southern.
Yeah, I listen to him talk all day. But yeah, his son is just spoiled,
Okay, so
petulant.
so for those who did not see it, here's what happened. So
Monk.
T.I. and Tiny were at a game with their son, a football game, and he was on live, flexing, flossing, talking about how hard he was. Which, first of all, you grew up rich. You are not hard. Stop it. Okay, that's the first thing. Which is basically what T.I. was trying to tell him. And he was like, well, yeah, I was hard. Because remember, I used to have to go over my grandma's house because I was always getting in fights. And T.I. was like, that ain't why you were going over your grandma's house. You went over your grandma's house because you were begging to go all the time. And then Tiny was like, yeah, you were begging to go because because she would let your old ass suck on that pacifier. And you couldn't do it. Which, of course... If you know kids, now he's embarrassed because he on live and his mama just told on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he got mad, got in his feelings, and stepped to T.I., and T.I. had to show him, who Tip really is. Because Tip is like, I was raised in these streets. You was raised in a mansion. Please.
Cut it out.
Yeah, so next thing you know, King's in a chokehold. And yeah, but yeah, that's parenting in a nutshell. Because kids be absolutely, but kids be remembering stuff, and I'd be like, where the hell are you getting this? Like, that is not how that happened at all.
Yeah, my son's a rapper. I know.
Yeah, I mean,
where that hard life happened. I missed that one, but then my mother probably thinks the same thing about me. So sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild though. But also, as a kid, you have to know that you don't talk about your childhood in front of your friends with your parents, because we always got stories. And at some point, you're going to be embarrassed. That's just how that works.
Yeah.
Expeditiously, correct.
Yeah. I do my best not to do that.
I got one missed call from you.
Yeah, I do my best not to do that. To like embarrass my kid. I mean, I'm sure there are little stories I get to telling that she be, be tripping on. How would you say that?
Right. Well, it seems to me that T.I. and Tiny weren't trying to embarrass him either, but he was just being so obnoxious with it and wrong. He was being so wrong about it. That they didn't have any choice but to correct the facts of the matter. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Internet fame.
Makeup stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly what that was. And T.I. and Tiny were not, they were not with the program. Yeah, they were not with the program. They were like, my dude, you grew up in a mansion, and this is why this is why you wanted to go to your grandma's house. Stop trying to play hard.
There was a whole TV show about it. We seen it.
Right. We saw how you grew up. So the fact that you out here trying to pretend that you were anything but rich and spoiled is hilarious to me.
Which is evident by his behavior.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember probably about 10 years. My nephew was about 16, and I was down there visiting, and he said something about something being ghetto. I was like, fool, what the hell you know about the ghetto? like, what? Like, have you ever even been to a ghetto? Like, y'all just throwing out words for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, my oldest daughter asked me what the hood is. That was one of my proudest parent moments ever.
That shielded her from that.
Exactly. Which, by the way, is the goal. Like, it's no shame to say you didn't grow up, in the streets. Hell, I didn't grow up in the streets. Why? Because my parents saw to it that I did not. Now, that didn't mean that I wasn't up to some shenanigans. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I was not a street kid. That's just not what that was.
And technically, I wouldn't have been considered a street kid either. No, I wouldn't have been a street kid. Like, even though, like, my block in Detroit is very much like that. My block was one of those, and that, like, our little small section was, upper middle class families, nice homes, nice lawns, whatever. A lot of their kids went to parochial schools, so on and so forth. And so that was my surroundings. But just one block over was a whole, one block to the east was a whole nother story. And even though I experienced some elements of, I guess, the streets or whatever, I would never say that I was a hood kid or a street kid.
Correct. Correct. Like, I had friends who lived in, well, I was going to say the projects, but, we called them the barrio, the barrio is really the projects. Yeah. And, so I had friends that were, right. I had friends that were about that life. But, like, I would never, like, I'm not out here telling people that I grew up in, in such a way that I was hard. And I mean, did I get in fights? A couple. But that doesn't mean that,
It doesn't make you a street kid. Makes you a kid, a teenager, or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean,
kids get in shit.
Yeah, I defended myself, that kind of thing.
I'm not going to tell that story. I grew up in some hood areas and did everything I could to get the fuck out and stay the fuck out.
Exactly. Like, but that's the goal, right? Like,
yeah, unless you're fascinated by a life you haven't lived.
I was going to say, and a goal which T.I. and Tiny were able to achieve because their children grew up so far removed from the hood. Okay. So the fact that this
that makes me think of something.
Okay.
That makes me think of something. It was a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I was driving and I was thinking about the whole glamorization of the hood thing. And I'm like, you have a set of people who are like real hood folks. Like, we're not talking hood adjacent. We're talking about real grew up in the bottom, whatever folks.
And that would be T.I. And that was what his son found out. There is a difference.
Well, here's the thing, right? The majority of the people who really, really grow up in the hood,
right?
Again, not hood adjacent,
right?
Okay,
yeah.
They're trying to get out because they realize, just how bad things are on our fronts. But it's always those hood kind of adjacent people. Or then you have those people who grow up in the hood, who have no problem with that hood life. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They hood to the day they die. whatever,
and
whatever,
they end
whatever.
up dying.
But the majority of the people, and they end up, well, a lot of them end up for one reason or another. If it's not violence, it's that traditional lifestyle that goes along with being in the hood, rather it be poor access to food, you know, so your eating habits is messed up, alcoholism, drugs, you name it, and violence, you know?
Yeah, or violence.
But the majority of the people, like with me, I was hood adjacent enough to know that there was nothing, and I do mean nothing,
about the hood that you wanted
about the hood that I was, not even when I was young. I'm not going to say that I didn't go some places that were slightly risky, but there were other places that you would not fucking catch me in.
I'm saying.
Like, there's just no way.
I'm saying, absolutely.
And it was cool. It's cool. It was cool because I was just close enough to know where to stay away from.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus somebody who knew nothing about the hood, and you meet somebody and they say, let's go hang here. You know, let's go hang at the Outcast. I don't know if you ever heard of the Outcast, but
no.
Let's go hang at the Outcast. And you like, it's a club? Like, yeah. Like, oh, okay. And you go over there and it's this raunchy ass motorcycle club that you'll be lucky if you walk out with your teeth and your life. Like,
listen, again,
but
I did not grow up in the hood. Like, I grew up like staunchly middle class, but you know, I hung out with some shady characters at times, and I frequented some shady places at times. And, you know, I will tell you that I was in the vicinity of gunfire on several occasions, but ironically, the first time the first time I was near gunfire, like shots rang out like over my head, was when I was at college. So, you know, you can't outrun people, is what I'm saying. You know, so
listen.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere.
I was walking across the street to a gas station while I was in high school, and somebody was shooting at somebody right across the street from me. And if it had not been for the city bus, those bullets would have hit, or could potentially have hit, me and my friend and I. We were standing in the turning lane trying to cross the street, and this bus came past, and all you could hear was the bullets ricocheting off the bus. Bop, 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 bop. And it was hitting it in the metal part, of course, because you wasn't hearing glass go ting ting. So we're like right there, like right at that level, the metal part on the bus. That could have potentially been us. It was that one time. And then I seen one of these guys from 12th Street shoot this dude up at the gas station. Like, I'm not going to go into that. But that right there was enough for me to where I said, yeah, this ain't that life. This ain't that. This is not what I want. This is not where I'm going to hang. There was nothing about the hood and hood life that was appealing to me in any kind of way. And certain spots, you wasn't going to catch me at. Even in my times when I drank all the time and I smoked weed and all of that other stuff, that was the one point in my life where you would have caught me in a couple of places that I probably should not have been. But once that leveled out, it was like, and that was a very short period during my life because getting shot, I can't imagine it's fun, but definitely watching somebody get shot, whether they die or not,
fun.
It's traumatizing.
It is.
It's way more blood than in the movies.
There's no.
Yeah, I mean, just being near gunfire, which you know has happened to me, and it's not the gunfire itself because you know I grew up around the military, so I heard shooting all the time, right? But it's different. Okay, it's different when you're.
Well, I can't say that it's different. I imagine that.
Oh yeah, it's a different thing because when people are shooting at somebody, especially when you don't quite know who they're shooting at and you're around, that is very like that is a terrifying state of affairs.
Yeah.
And like, why would anybody wish to be in that situation? Like, I don't understand.
Because they haven't.
But
I think for a lot of people, it's not that they wish to be in a situation. I figure for a lot of people, you have that mindset, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, which,
I mean, that's
all
true.
cool till it happens.
I don't disagree with that. But there are a lot of places where bullshit is a lot more likely to happen.
Correct.
And that's my whole thing. Like, and you end up getting in some BS, like say in the city, like in Detroit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The chances of you becoming very critical or dying from your injuries are much, 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 much higher for the simple fact that their emergency response is slower.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
What Flav and them say, 911 is a joke.
Especially in the urban cities. I'm not going to even say that's just a Detroit thing. That's an urban
it's not
city
just
thing.
a Detroit thing at all.
I don't think my hometown even got 911 until this millennium. If not, it was late 90s.
Dang. What was they doing? What were they calling?
The
Well,
police? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, I don't remember 911 even being a thing until like maybe the mid 80s. Like, isn't that when they like rolled it out like nationwide that this is the number you call instead of trying to find the number to the police?
It might have been. I came back from Germany in 85.
Yeah. And I think it was...
I don't remember 911 not being around.
Yeah, I do. Well, I remember when they started pushing it. So I don't think it was around like in the 70s.
Huh.
I don't think so, but I'd have to look that up to be sure.
I'm about to look it up now. You got me curious.
Beat me to it.
Yeah.
When was 911 invented? 1968.
Okay,
It was in a
but
white
when did
area.
they start rolling it out to everybody?
When did it reach the hood?
Uh,
We got to Juneteenth of 911. We might not have caught it on time.
Right, because I'm sure it took a while. You know how America is. It takes a while to implement anything. So it wasn't like it came out in 68 and then all of a sudden everybody had it.
Let's see. It says it was available on national scale in 1968.
Oh, okay. Well, I could be wrong. I just don't remember I don't remember them having like commercials about it and stuff until like I was older. But it may just be I wasn't paying... No, it wouldn't have been because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, no, somebody else did a little deeper dig, and I know this is dragging out longer than what we intended, but apparently the rollout was in Alameda County, California. It was the testing location. And then the enhanced 911 system, which was probably the nationwide rollout, was 1976.
Okay, well that might sound a little bit better because I was going to say it was like all of a sudden they started having all these commercials about 911 and here's the number to call and for any emergency, because I do remember that like suddenly they had all these ads about it. So that's probably true.
Fuck the police.
But I thought it was later than 76, but maybe not. I mean, not all of them, but sure. So, I didn't want this episode to be too long, but I did see online, I was reading this week, something from the Am I the Asshole forum that I thought was interesting and silly.
Okay.
And triggering, possibly. So, trigger warning. So this guy writes, am I the asshole for not telling my girlfriend that my brother is a registered sex offender? And here, I forgot. See, we got new tools and stuff. Let's see.
Offhand? No.
Make it easier. Yes, but we'll get into that. But anyway, so in bold, I do not condone anything my brother did. I don't defend him or say he is innocent. One of my brothers is a registered sex offender. He can't be around anyone under 18 ever again and live or otherwise be around places like schools and daycares. In addition, he has to inform the court if he enters into a romantic relationship with a woman. So the court can notify her of my brother's record towards women. Look, like I said above, I don't condone anything my brother does. His crimes were awful and I don't defend him. I try not to be around him if I can help it. He was at Thanksgiving dinner because my mom invited him and she and my stepdad were hosting. Afterwards, my mom asked me to drive him and one of my other siblings home. My girlfriend found out about my brother because of the sign on his lawn that he's required to have due to his status. She's angry that I didn't tell her about my brother. It's not like I defend him, and I don't get why his crimes have anything to do with me. We don't want kids, and I would never leave her alone with him. I also don't think people should be judged on the things people who happen to share the same DNA do. Okay, I had nothing to do with anything my brother did. I don't defend him or even like him much. I don't even have his phone number or anything. My girlfriend says I shouldn't want to be around him. I don't like being around him, but it wasn't my decision to invite him to Thanksgiving, and it wasn't my house, so I had no say. We were talking about moving in together soon. My girlfriend says it's on hold because she doesn't know who I am. I don't understand why she's angry. I am not my brother, and I do nothing to defend or justify the horrible things he's done. Am I the asshole? So, what say ye?
Star?
I mean, your brother is a registered sex offender. Is that's a pretty. I mean, it's not like something that slips your mind or anything like that. And when you got to a point where you were more serious in the relationship, it seems like that would come up. I don't necessarily think that she's judging you for your brother's crimes. What I think it is that she's judging the withholding.
Yes.
And then what else are you withholding? Because that's pretty serious. Especially after not the first date or the first 2 weeks, but when you saw it getting a little deep,
yes,
that should have probably have come up with the conversation about family and things like that, because I'm pretty sure you've talked about family before. So how did that not come up?
Correct. Magic?
Leave that chick
You're
when
laughing.
you have a chance. She's out of her fucking mind. I agree with Star in the sense that, okay, clearly y'all have been together for a while, but if that's a brother you don't fuck with because you know he's a piece of shit, you gotta vividly fucking describe it. At best, you might have brought it up before y'all went to Thanksgiving together, but I don't see nothing wrong in what he did. And she overly mad about it, like, we can't live together because you didn't tell me your brother's a fucking creep. I told you I don't fuck with that nigga. You ain't asked for details.
I vehemently disagree, and here's why.
I get if she had kids or something, but...
No. Clearly he has a problem with violence against women as well. Here's my problem with it. Like, I don't think men understand the danger that women are in just to exist in this world half the time. I don't think y'all get that.
I don't think we take it into consideration as much as we should. Puffy.
Well, and that's my point. And what he did was he took away her agency. He should have told her, because if he'd have told me all the things about his brother, like, I wouldn't judge him for it, but I'm sorry, I don't want to go to Thanksgiving dinner and be around your brother. Like, I don't want to put myself in that position. Now, to the extent where he's sitting up here saying, well, I would never leave her alone. I would never leave her alone with him. You don't know what you're going to do, because clearly you can't say no to your parents because you drove him home. Why would you do that if you don't like him?
Because mom said
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. What if mom said, I need you to go to the store and go get me, and go get me a carton of milk or something. And that's okay. I'll be here with old girl. You go to the store and come back. So now you're leaving me alone in a household where I have no clue of the danger I may or may not be in.
He knew better than that.
Well,
this is the issue that comes into hand. Women come up with all of these hypothetical things that might go wrong. Nothing went wrong.
Because shit goes wrong all the time.
That's entirely possible, but it didn't. It's like me walking around every day like I could get hit by a bus, so fuck it. I'm going to just live like today's my last day. No, nothing happened.
What if he hadn't taken her home? Okay, what if he hadn't taken her home?
That's the thing I'm getting at here. It's a whole bunch of, this could.
But what I'm saying, no, listen to me. Yes, I know this is your brother. I run into him somewhere, and I think, oh, well, this is my dude's brother. It's okay for me to go have lunch with him somewhere or whatever. Like, you can't take away.
He made it very clear he does not fuck with his brother. I'm sure she knew that.
He didn't make that very clear.
She might not have asked why.
No, he didn't. No. He didn't make that very clear because he put him in the car with her and drove him home. So that is not clear at all to me that you don't fuck with your brother.
Okay. Lord. So in your scenario where like you decide to have lunch, right? I would like to think before you decide to go have lunch or anything with this dude, like go anywhere with this dude, you would let your person, you would let your future spouse know or whatever.
Shoot a text.
Your partner know. And then, shoot a text like, hey, I ran into your brother. I'm about to go out to lunch with him. And then that's when that motherfucker get on the phone like, you going where? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but is that not problematic for you to tell me at that point?
Like I said, he should have mentioned it before Thanksgiving. But if he didn't, that's nothing super to spaz about. Clearly, he mentioned it after the fact.
Because you are it is nothing. No, he didn't mention it. She found out because she saw the sign.
Yeah, he mentioned it after the fact.
Not because, no, he didn't mention it. He didn't part his lips to say anything about it. She found out because she saw the sign on dude's lawn.
After Thanksgiving. He mentioned it after the fact.
No. He did not mention it. That's what I'm saying. He never told her. Had he not taken him home and she saw that sign, she would still be walking through the world with no clue.
Waiting for a fictional ass nigga to pop up and be like, I'll have no problems in life. Lord, this is so insane. All right.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, you're a guy, so your danger level is different. Yeah. Okay. Your danger level is different.
That's true. Now that's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Because I'm going to tell you, that would piss me off too, that you put me in a situation where I was clueless about the danger I may or may not have been in.
But if you're seriously walking around all day thinking of hypothetical situations that could put you in more danger, why would I add to that personally? Like, I already know you annoyed. I already know you have anxiety. I'm going to sit here and go, worry about this too.
How do I know you can protect me?
That's a loving
know
man.
he can?
That's a good brother. I appreciate you.
Apparently it's not. Because, I mean, information is power. Information is power. And you deliberately did not give me the information I needed. So, yeah, I wouldn't marry him. Like, I wouldn't move in with him because, like, I'm with her. Like, you took away my agency. And I don't like that.
I don't know that I would not make. I don't think I would end it. I don't know that I would end it.
I get her being mad, but
I would.
I don't
red
know.
Flag.
I would be like, okay, so yes, that is a red flag. It would definitely be a red flag. But we would have to sit down and have a conversation. Like, okay,
what else aren't you telling me?
Is there anything else?
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I should know?
Oh, she want details now.
That I don't want to get broadsided by.
But now how can I trust you to tell me? Because here was something huge that you did not tell me.
After all of this, you know what I mean? If that conversation were to take place, I mean, he would kind of be silly not to say anything because you know what the repercussions would be.
Have you met men?
I mean, I get that too, but here's my thing, right? Okay. So for whatever reason why people do it in relationships, and again, that's relationships across the board, right? People keep their secrets. They don't tell everything for whatever the reason is, right?
I get that.
So for me, hold on, for me, okay, if I'm kicking it with a dude and nothing bad came out of your withholding, not even the fact that because the potential that something could have happened would have definitely crossed my mind. But if nothing bad comes out of it, right? And we sit down and I say, listen, what else is there that I should be aware of? You know, whatever reason why you kept this from me, I'm upset about it, but we gonna move past this. But going forward, okay, here's your window. Whatever it is that you need to tell me now so that we can deal with this right now. Because going forward, if something else like this or similar to this pops up, then I got the problem. Then I'm not getting married and I'm not moving in because I can't trust you at all.
Well, here's my thing.
You being all logical.
Here's my thing.
I'm just
I know.
saying.
Listen, I don't expect you to tell me your brother is a registered sex offender and I just fucking met you, okay? Okay. Even if we've been in a relationship for, a couple months and we trying to see where it's going, okay? But clearly, we're thinking about moving in together and you have invited me to your parents' home. You see what I'm saying? And you don't tell me that? I am sorry. Like, I don't care how many conversations we have about what you aren't telling me. In the back of my mind, now you want to talk about anxiety. Now I'm anxious because I feel like I can't trust you. And once the trust is broken, what's the point?
Trust is broken from lies. He withheld information, which I would have withheld too until they had to be around each other.
Which is a lie of omission, by the way.
Women always talk that shit. Y'all omit every fucking thing, but then it's suddenly bad when someone does it to you.
Oh no, it's bad when we do it. And it's strategic.
It's bad when anybody does it.
Yeah, it's bad when anybody does it.
I don't take that shit personal.
Listen, for
certain
me,
shit I probably didn't want to know anyway. Omit, please.
Nope.
For me, you have one mid-size slip up.
Mid-size?
I can get past. Because again, nothing bad came out of it. The potential was there.
So nothing bad happened. So it's okay.
No, that's taking it too far.
Have a conversation.
Because nothing bad happened.
Oh, now you want to have a conversation. The time to have a conversation was when you invited me to your parents' house.
I said that from the beginning, but since he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But in his mind, he may have thought,
make the day awkward.
You know, yeah, don't want to make the day awkward, and why bring it up, now, because she's not going to be alone with him, so on and so forth. That probably was his mindset.
Listen,
flawed, but
listen, somebody in the comments, I can't find it right now, but somebody in the comments said that they were on a dating app and they were talking to a guy, and before she met the guy told her, listen, just so you know, I'm a registered sex offender. And she was like, okay.
He's a registered sex offender. That's something I'm not getting over.
No, listen.
Right?
And she was like, okay, thank you for telling me. And she was like, but, so I'm not interested in a relationship with you, and, I'm out.
Okay.
He was less of an asshole because at least you told me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for me, that's not the same.
Don't ask why I know this, but there's 3 levels of registered sex offenders. One I think you got to deal with for 5 years. The other one you got to deal with for 10 years. And if you really fucked up, it's the permanent one.
Yeah, this guy had to have a sign on his lawn.
Yeah, he got the permanent one. He did some real dirt. And ain't allowed around kids and got a report having a girlfriend. Yeah, he fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't just your average... Not that it's any better, but this isn't
I was 19 and messed with a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's the 5-year
I
thing.
groped someone who didn't, or I groped someone who didn't want me to grope them, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, clearly this is some serious shit.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can bury this dog, but for me, like I said, that's mid-size. It's not small and it's not large because nothing happened.
Listen, you're talking to somebody who broke up with a dude because he was allergic to dogs. You think that this ain't a deal breaker for me?
You look for every reason in the world to be mad at every man. Let's think sane people.
I do not look for reasons to be mad at men. Stop it.
We have
I look for reasons to not be mad at men, but y'all seem to not want to give me those reasons. So
point proven. What was you saying, Star?
I clearly see that that's a deal breaker for you, and I mean, listen, me knowing you, I get it. I'm not saying that you're unreasonable or anything. Everybody has their lines that you don't cross with them, right?
Right.
So I get it, and I'm not trying to disparage that in any kind of way.
And I'm very much a person that once you break my trust, dog, like, what are we doing?
That wouldn't necessarily be, and I'm huge on that as well. Trust and believe that. If I have to question everything you do or say from now on, then there's no point in us being together. That would not necessarily be one of the situations for me that I wouldn't trust him from now on. I won't say that I wouldn't be a little apprehensive, even if he decided to open up to me about some other things. You understand that he should have told me. The apprehension may have lasted a little while, but it would fade with time. Maybe. I don't know that would be necessarily a deal breaker. As long as, you're not withholding or doing anything else for stuff that I should know. Mm. As long as we don't cross this again, then we're cool. Mm. I'll get over it eventually. But I can't say that I wouldn't be upset about it. I would be, but not enough to call off a marriage.
Well, I don't even know that they're getting married. They were just going to move in together.
Oh, they were moving in.
Yeah.
I
don't think I would move in after that. Like, I can't. Mm-mm.
Listen, you got that window. You better jump through it and take it for what it is, because if something pops up after this, then we got a problem. Because you had every opportunity to tell me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it is harder for me to extricate myself from that relationship if we're living together. So right now I can't trust you, so we cannot live
your
together.
Bag and get the fuck out.
Yeah, we
I
can,
get it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't blame her at all, because that would piss me
For being hesitant. Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, I think she should think about it a little bit. I mean, here's my thing for that. For her to get to the point where she's that upset with him about this, in my mind, right? Some other things have probably taken place before that she's not mentioned. Because if you're with a guy, if you're with a person, whoever, if you're with a person who up till now has been this, let's say, model boyfriend, whatever that looks like for you, right?
Nobody's a model boyfriend.
Well, I'm just saying, he's
or girl, or girlfriend for that matter. Nobody is a model.
Well, what I'm saying is, this person is good enough for you to want to be a part of this shared living space with this person. Mm-hmm. You're considering moving forward. So you think enough of this person to say, hey, I think we can do this, right? So if they've been that person, that solid person for you, that you're thinking of moving in with them and sharing a space with them, this one thing, although it is, it's an issue, okay, that can't just be the deal breaker. There's got to be something else in my mind.
Well, see, for me, in my mind, if I think that much of you and you just demonstrated that you think that little of me, then that's a problem. That is a problem.
It's a bigger issue of intent and how things were taken. I don't think he intended to be necessarily ill. He just didn't think that through too well. I can't hold that against him too badly.
Yep.
Okay, but
I don't think he thought it through either. I really, really don't. It's a major flub up, but it's not relationship ending for me.
Yeah. Like I don't blame old girl for taking some time to think about it.
And that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
Thanksgiving was last week. Should be all right by Christmas.
Yeah, me, I'd be out. I would be so out, because to me, that red flags, I would be out. I mean, I understand that's not as big a red. Nah, that's a bright.
That's a red flag.
That's a bright red flag.
It's a red flag.
That's him not thinking things through. Red flag is no, you intentionally knew you was fucking up and kept going.
No, you intentionally withheld.
Like, if he left her alone there with him, that's a red flag. He didn't think it was pertinent at the time. In an enclosed, dumb decision, but
he put her in an enclosed.
His intent is different.
He put her in an enclosed space. He put her in a small enclosed space with him. Doesn't matter.
He was in there with her.
Doesn't matter. I should know.
It wasn't a serial
what I'm
killer.
Up against. Like how do we know? How do you know that?
Yeah, but that goes into
you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't know. No, you didn't tell me he was a sex offender. How do I know he's not?
Okay. But that to me, I'm sorry, that to me goes even further than that, because you don't necessarily know the personal history of the person that's serving you food. You don't know the personal history of
and I don't trust them motherfuckers either.
But you go out to eat. And here's the thing. You don't know, like, even before the Ubers, let's not even talk about the Ubers. You don't know the personal history of the people who you would get into a cab with. Or the personal history of the doctor.
What am I afraid of?
Everything, apparently.
The killer? I mean, what?
Well, no. What am I afraid of? Bridges.
Bridges, yes.
Why am I afraid of bridges?
because you don't trust the.
Thank you. Because I don't know them motherfuckers. Okay?
That built by
Yes.
You don't know the person that
So
built your
that's what I'm
car or your house.
For someone with
elevator.
For someone with an anxiety disorder, knowledge is everything.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Everything.
From now on, when a chick says she got anxiety, I'm taking that as a red flag. It's too much to deal with.
And you know what? And that is fine. That is fine.
Everyone has their bounds.
Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that, though, right? So you have an anxiety disorder, and so here's the thing, right? Whoever this man is in a relationship with, right? It could have been something as simple as he misread how seriously she would take that. How, like,
clearly,
if she. Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I'm saying. So it's different when you know somebody has like an angst or a fear of something such as, let's say, spiders, right? If you know somebody has a fear of spiders, like a terrifying fear of spiders, and you decide while y'all are on the date, we gonna stop by over the brother's house who has a bunch of pet spiders. Yeah, that's a whole ass problem because you know that I have this fear. But in this particular situation, it could be that he didn't read her personality correctly to where he figured she wouldn't have such a big issue with it, especially because she was not left alone with him or put in any type of situation where, you know, she had to have any real contact with him. It could have been that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. And to your point, Magic, that, you know, people out here being single over stuff like this. Here, I'm here to tell you, being single is not the worst thing that can happen to you.
I know. I agree with you.
Because you can be in a relationship with somebody who does not regard your safety. Like that
was
is
not a disregard to her safety.
Single.
That was overlooking. That's a dumbass mistake. It's not an intentional fuck up.
Well, like I said, you're a man, and I don't think you understand what it is to have your agency just taken from you.
That was an agency taken from her. That was a dumb mistake. That was shit. I didn't think about that. My bad.
She thought she was just going to Thanksgiving dinner with the family. He did take away her agency because she didn't have all the information where she could have said, I'd rather not go.
However we want to look at it. Okay. Good luck, dear sir, and you, ma'am.
Yeah. If you're listening, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you don't know the personal history of a lot of folks that you encounter. And
yeah, which is why I
got me thinking.
Which is why I don't encounter a lot of folks. You see what I'm saying?
No, I do. I get it. Yeah, you got me thinking about some stuff.
But if you take me around somebody like Star, if I come over your house and someone's over there, I assume that you have already vetted that person. You know what I'm saying? And if I later find out some shit, then I'm mad at you for putting me in that situation just as much as I would be mad at him for putting me in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Because you tend to trust people that someone else has introduced you to more so.
Yeah, but I think you know me well enough that, you know, shady characters like that, if I have any knowledge about them, they're not going to be, you know, really around. So
that's my point.
I mean, I get that.
That's my point.
Degree. I get that to a degree. Yeah.
Yeah, that is precisely my point.
But I will say this, and again, we can put this dog to bed. Please. I will say this. At what point do people get to outlive their mistakes? their wrongdoings. Because first of all, we don't know what it is that he did.
If you got the permanent sign with the mark in the front, you don't get the outlet, that homie.
Yes. You did some shit.
No. But my thing is one thing, and trust me, I am not a sympathizer for this in any kind of way, especially being a person who had an issue when I was a kid, right? But as far as a person living in this world, when is it that you don't have to just be labeled all the time by what it is that you've done?
Depends on the crime.
Not when you're a sex offender. Yeah, when you're a sex offender, you chose the crime. You choose, you accept the punishment. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm. Anything you do in life, you better make sure the consequences are worth the benefits.
And let me say this, because
that's true.
Because the poster didn't say what state they're in, because they only use the signs in a limited number of states, and it is reserved for the most heinous of offenders. So,
to put things in perspective for the question Star was asking, the people who visited Epstein's Island or R. Kelly or something, at what point is it, all right, that's in the past, you cool now?
Listen, I am a person, and you've heard me talk about this, like once somebody has paid their debt to society, for the most part, I'm like, give them another chance. Like, I think, the whole thing
about
stole out
the grocery store.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there are levels to this. There are levels to this. And as far as old boy not telling her, when does he get past his mistake? To me, I'm like, okay, well, you learn from your mistake, and you can apply that to the next one.
Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Yep.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah, I didn't expect it to go this long, so can we get an outro?
That's what she said. If you made it through the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe. This is how I go. It is the Threesome Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Threesome Pod on Twitter. Holla at us. You can leave voice messages, leave us 5 stars, all that good shit. I've been fucking around on Twitter a little bit on the company account. We'll see if we get Facebook and Instagram cracking. That's fun. Or X, my bad.
And Twitter. X is stupid.
Yeah, right. Very much so.
And, speaking of X, I looked at my phone and I clicked on X because they changed the icon to X now. And now, when I go to pay my Xfinity bill, I accidentally hit that damn thing every time. It's annoying. And
Xfinity is red. X is blue or whatever.
Well, my Xfinity is purple, but I just be looking for the X. You know what I mean?
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah, my phone changes the colors of the apps to whatever the background is, so damn near everything's blue.
See?
But I don't have Xfinity.
All right, y'all.
I got Cox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good night, good people.
I'm going to walk the dog.
Walk it, doggy. Walk it, doggy.